8radio.com. Hello again, everybody. Today is Saturday, October 3rd, 2015, and you are watching The Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco. My name is Paul Descafani, and this is my good friend Bruce Oler. Kyle Melnick and Eric Mikhailov are behind the glass, and you are joining us on the Radio TV network, broadcasting live from Studio C in the great state of New York, the home of the National League East champion New York Mets. How great is that?
That sounds good, man. It's been a long time, right?
You know,
2006 was the last time we made the playoffs.
Yeah, you know, so today is going to be a wall-to-wall baseball show today.
It's a baseball playoff extravaganza.
You know, and we love having extravaganzas here.
We do.
And extravaganzas mean 6-hour shows. No, it's not going to be 6 hours today. Maybe 2.
Yeah.
No. No, but today we've got lined up a bunch of baseball experts today.
It looks great. It looks great.
We got writers from Around the Horn Talk, which is a baseball blog. Mm-hmm. We've got some of our regulars that we're bringing back today. We'll hear from Jake Krebs in St. Louis today.
Trey Loney.
And Trey Looney today. We'll see him today. Couple of cool things going on today. We've got 2 Skype guests today.
That's even more impressive.
You know, so technology is wonderful.
Yeah.
So anyway, how great was Saturday last week? Which we predicted right here on this program that the Mets were going to clinch the East that day.
Yeah, and then unfortunately they lost 3 in a row to Philadelphia.
Yeah,
now we're in a little bit of a situation about clinching home field against the Dodgers.
You know, it was almost like, not like they were spring training games. I understand they were coming off the hangover in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You know, and you wanted to rest a couple of your guys. But there was the Cespedes thing.
Yes.
You know, if you're a Met fan and you were watching that game, your heart was in your throat seeing him go down.
That's right. I mean, there's a couple. They do have some key injuries here. I mean, Matz was supposed to pitch on Wednesday, or I guess it was Tuesday. Then they moved it back to Wednesday, then Thursday. He's supposed to pitch this weekend. Now he's not going to pitch at all.
Yeah.
You know, we got Juan Uribe, who got nicked up with a chest injury, chest contusion. Mm-hmm. You say Cespedes got hit. Wilmer Flores has got a cranky back right now. Mm-hmm. So
you know what? Well, we'll be. I think during the course of the show today,
we'll talk about those.
We'll be sprinkling in Met stuff all over the place. But let's take a quick look at what's going on in all of the wild card and the pennant races.
Okay.
Shall we?
Why don't?
Why not?
You have a graphic for that?
I worked hard on the graphics, so we might as well use them.
Let's hope so.
All right, so let's first look at the American League wild card.
Okay.
Okay. Right now, there are still 4 teams that are going for the 2 spots. Now, the Yankees have already clinched one of the spots.
Yeah.
Okay. The Astros won yesterday. Okay. The Angels lost yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Astros can still win the AL West. Minnesota is just about done.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Put a fork in them, I think.
Put a fork in them. Now, for the National League wild card, there's only 2 teams.
Yeah,
and it's already been decided.
Yep.
But they're still fighting for who's going to get to host that 1-game wild card.
Yeah, but I think Pittsburgh looks like they're going to do that. I think they're 2 games ahead.
Right. They're 1 game in. Pittsburgh has, well, no. Is it? I don't know. What is it? Yes, no. Pittsburgh's 2 games ahead, so they're gonna finish that off.
So they're going to be the home. They're going to host that 1-game playoff.
Right. Okay. Now, in the divisions.
Yeah.
Okay. In the AL,
Yeah, this is an interesting one too because Toronto and Kansas City have the same record.
they both have the same number of wins.
And whoever finishes in first in the league will have home field advantage for as long as they stay in the playoffs.
And they play the wild card team.
Yeah.
So what we don't know is not only who's going to have home field, but they don't even know who they're going to play in.
Yeah.
And for Toronto, it's a big difference because if the Yankees were to win, nobody ever wants to play the Yankees in the playoffs, ever. You know what I mean? And Texas got a big win yesterday over Anaheim. They still have a 2-game lead over the Astros. And boy, that's a tough thing. We're going to be talking to Trey Looney about that one. And in the National League, let's just take a quick look at the National League division.
Let's do that.
In National League, the Mets still have 3 games with Washington, doubleheader today.
Yeah, day-night doubleheader.
They have 89 wins. Now, the Dodgers won their game yesterday.
So they have 90 wins.
They have 90 wins, and that's the difference between Game 5. That's the difference, I'm sorry, between going to Los Angeles
or staying
for
home
Friday and Saturday or staying home.
And having game 1, 2, and 5 at home or away.
Right, exactly. So, shall we go to the first guest?
Let's do that. So we're going what? We're going north of the border here?
Our first guest.
Okay.
He's new to the Glory Day show.
To the Great White North.
The Great
Okay.
White North. He hails from Whitby, Ontario, which is about 30 minutes from Toronto. He's a Toronto Blue Jay columnist for the internet site Around the Horn Talk. Please welcome to the program via Skype, Ryan Colpitts. Ryan, how are you?
Hey, there you go.
First of all, congratulations on Toronto.
Well, I thank you very much. It is definitely an exciting time for sure, not only in the city of Toronto, but all through Canada as well.
Yep. I did want to start out by saying not just congratulations, but also thank you.
Thank you, yeah.
Because, the Mets traded R.A. Dickey to the Toronto Blue Jays back in 2012, and we got Travis d'Arnaud and Noah Syndergaard in that deal, and they are 2 of our stars right now. So thank you very much.
Yeah, you know what? Like, honestly, I didn't even mind that trade because, like, with Dickey being the knuckleball pitcher in the league, like, it's great to have him. Like, obviously, he's an older guy. Noah Syndergaard's a younger guy, and, like, it's definitely going to pan out for the Mets in that. But with the team, excuse me, with the team that that we have now between the veteran pitchers of Burley, Dickey, and Estrada, and then with bringing over Martin, and Martin has been able to catch Dickey's knuckleball so well as of late. It's been great to see. So he's definitely been a helpful addition to the roster for sure.
Now, Toronto was a lot like the Mets. I mean, they made a couple of big moves right at the trading deadline.
It was probably both the Mets and Toronto that had the best trading deadline.
They acquired David Price on the 31st of July. They traded shortstop Jose Reyes and 3 minor leaguers to Colorado for Troy Tulowitzki and LaTroy Hawkins. They got Long Islander Marcus Stroman back. They didn't think he was going to make it back this season, and they did. So they have an MVP candidate in Josh Donaldson, Jose Bautista, Cy Young candidate David Price. So they're looking pretty good, man. They really are.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually really funny because the Jays were doing an autograph signing with Kevin Pillar and Roberto Osuna back in July on the trade deadline, and every single person that was in that lineup was on their phones when Ken Rosenthal was tweeting about David Price trade might happen and all that. As soon as that happened, people were freaking out it was in the Eden Center, and we were just all so happy we got David Price. Obviously, every single Jays fan pretty much knows as of right now he is a rental player.
Yeah.
As much as everybody's would love as a Christmas gift to have the Jays sign him, even for the next year or two when they still have the potential of making the playoffs next year with Bautista and Edwin still in the roster, it would be great. But I mean, it comes down to a money issue, right? I mean, they have traded off a lot of guys. They got rid of Felix Dubron and Danny Valencia earlier this year, and they got cash back for those guys, as well as they got cash for all different scenarios, and also too with the playoff tickets. I mean, hell, if they don't get money from that, I don't know where else they're going to get the money
Hey,
from.
with David Price, do you think it's going to be a money issue, or do you think it's going to be a years issue? Because here, the talk with Cespedes, we're in the same situation here. But the talk with Cespedes seems to be not so much the money issue, but the number of years that he wants. Because they're talking here that he's probably going to be looking for 6 years, and there's no way that Alderson is going to do something like that.
Yeah, like that's definitely the thing. Is like it does come down to a year's issue too, but it's all anytime the team like trades a player and it becomes like gets down to a money issue, like it's not only the money, but it is the team years. But like I don't know, it's always been a cluster up in the air in that sense of also too where the player wants to stay, right? Because I mean David Price loves Toronto right now. He thinks it's been great. He even said like after his first start, it was the most extravagant fan base that he's seen in a while. So, I mean, it's things like that could draw him back to Toronto. But at the same time, like you said, it is a year's issue. So I don't know how long Anthopoulos would want to keep him, as well as Shapiro coming in as president to replace Paul Beeson. We don't know what his mindset is going into the next season as well.
You know, we were talking, I think, a couple of weeks ago after they had gotten Cespedes, and kind of compared it to the Mike Piazza issue when Piazza came over from the Marlins.
Yeah.
Mike Piazza was a free agent, and when the Mets got him, all the talk was about how there's no way he's going to stay with the Mets. But he got to see the team. He got to see how much the fans loved him.
Yeah.
And that helped.
Team.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that hopefully the same thing that's going on with Price up in Toronto, we're hoping that the same thing is going to happen with Cespedes, because when you're a free agent, you get to spend a day or two with the teams. And it's in the middle of the winter, and you get to walk through their facilities, but you don't get to play every day with that team, you know? And I think that Cespedes is getting a chance to see this pitching staff,
yeah,
and to see what's going to be happening here in the next couple of years. And I'm just hoping that, you know, he's never said anything about the 6 years.
I thought we were talking about Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, we are. We're talking about the David Price thing, you know,
Okay.
and the Price thing is really the same. You guys are getting a chance to audition yourself for him.
Yeah.
And it's got to be something.
Now,
Yeah.
Troy Tulowitzki, he came back too, right? I think we were talking off camera. He came back last night, so I guess you'll have him for the playoffs?
Yeah, it definitely looks like that. He will be on the roster. I mean, everybody was talking about how the Jays will probably have a 14-player position set up that they'll bring, and then we'll have 11 pitchers. So Tulowitzki 100% will be in that lineup. They might even include Cliff Pennington to be one of the extra guys they bring on the playoff roster. Just like knock on wood, he doesn't. But if Tulo needs a day off,
Yeah.
or something happens where he has like pulls a strain or something, and he just needs to sit a couple innings, then they'll have that extra guy who they've already had experience with. Considering Ryan Goins and Cliff Pennington have been pretty much the setup second and shortstop guys since Tulo's injury. But I mean, hopefully it won't get that far, and hopefully Tulo will stay in the game and help the team with the playoff picture for sure.
We're getting close to the first break here, but I wanted to ask you, obviously they don't, you know, at this point we don't know who they're going to play, but I wanted to ask you about Texas or Kansas City. How did Toronto do out of their division this year?
I can't remember what the numbers were against Texas. It was either that I think we won more games against them than we lost, but I know with Kansas City, because they're the first, like they're the ones that we're chasing right now. We took 4 out of 3. It's opposite tomorrow, and the Jays lose and Kansas City Royals tie, or we end up tying with our records. We'll take the tiebreaker and we'll be have the best record, right?
Yeah.
And overall, I actually don't mind playing the Yankees in the playoffs more so than Houston or Texas, because with Houston, I know with them, when we went to the Astros Stadium, we ended up getting swept there. But then when Houston came here, we swept them, right? So it's just a matter of like if we get home field advantage, what first 2 games we play, whether it's away or at home, will determine a lot by that.
You know, the thing with Houston is Houston had such a big lead.
Yeah, they're not even short of getting in yet.
You know, and they went from being the surprise team in the beginning of the year to all of a sudden the surprise team at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't know exactly what happened, but Trey Looney will know what happened to them. Hey,
You miss Jose Reyes, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Reyes is my boy. I love him.
Oh, yeah?
He's probably killing himself that he got traded, but at the same time, I know that the other day when the boys were celebrating in the clubhouse in Baltimore, they all like Edwin, Bautista, Osuna, they all sent out a celebratory tweet to Reyes.
Oh, that's cool.
Just being like, "Hey, bud, like, how's it going?" sort of thing. Like, not as a chirp, but like, and Reyes replied like, "Man, like, so proud of them and all them."
Yeah, he hates it down in
Colorado.
Colorado, up in Colorado.
He knows it sucks that he got traded, but at the same time, like, he wanted to see this team win and see like his friends succeed. So that's all that matters in sports, is seeing your friends succeed, right?
All right, well, on this program here, we have a
Special guest
a
every
predictor that predicts sporting events for us, and his name is Sammy Stone. Okay, so Sammy Stone. Now we don't even have to ask you whether you think the Maple Leafs, boy, it's wrong sport, whether the Blue Jays are going to win their playoff series. But let's see what Sammy Stone has to say.
All right.
Sammy Stone.
That's right.
Tell me the future.
Okay, ask me.
Will the Toronto Blue Jays win their division series?
That ain't gonna happen.
Ooh. But just so that you know, Ryan, it's good when he says no because he's wrong all the time.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, have you seen the James Bond movie? Because that thing looks like the little dog that James Bond. He gets burned in a fire and still lives.
All righty, man. Thanks for taking the time out to talk with us today.
Hey, we'll want to bring you back when we talk about hockey. Obviously, you're in the hotbed of hockey up in Toronto there. So,
I don't want to be talking about hockey in Toronto until November when the World Series.
all right.
You know
That's a
what?
fair enough deal, my friend.
In this town here, usually we're talking about football today,
Yeah,
and
that's
we're
right.
talking about hockey because the Mets season has been over since August 1st. so for us, it's kind of weird still talking about baseball here in October.
Yeah, that is true. So,
All righty, man. So hopefully we'll talk to you next week. And thanks for taking the time today. I hope you had a good time.
no problem. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Take care.
All right, thanks.
Take care, Ryan.
That's Ryan Colpitts up in the Great White North.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
pretty cool, right?
Hey.
A. Well, we didn't get it. We didn't say A to him.
I know.
All righty. So you know what? What about we take a break?
Take a short break.
We'll
Yeah.
take a short break. Right after the break, we'll bring in two more correspondents.
Okay.
Okay, and they'll talk about the Yankee. The most likely it'll be the Yankee and Houston wild card game.
Okay.
Okay, we'll bring in our pal Trey Looney and Anthony DiLorenzo.
Oh. Okay. The Yankee
The
fan.
Yankee fan.
Okay.
All right, stay with us. You're watching the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco here on the Radio TV Network. We're coming right back.
over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit hansoncarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE, your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco here on the InRavio TV network. So, the Yankees won their 10,000th game.
I saw that.
In the franchise history.
I'm frightened to ask how many the Mets have won. I think if they won 5,000, they've won a lot. You know?
I don't even know if it's been that many.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, what have they been in? They've been in.
They
would have to win 100 games a year for 50 years.
Yeah, they haven't done that.
5,000.
Right. Maybe they got 3,000.
Maybe 3,500. I don't know what their official record is, but we do have. Looks like we're heading for a Yankees and an Astros. Looking like we're heading for a Yankees and Astros wild card game for the. It'll most likely be at Yankee Stadium, but
what do you mean? Most likely, it will be in Yankee Stadium.
Will it?
Yeah,
Well,
the
there's
Yankees
still two
have
games.
the
It's only
Yankees
two
have
games.
clinched home field for that game.
Have they?
Yes.
Because I thought that if Houston wins both their games, they'll both have the same. Oh, maybe they beat Houston in the series.
No, I think Houston beat them in the series. But I thought the Yankees had that wrapped up.
You know what?
Anyway.
I know who will know.
Yes. Well, back in April, our next correspondent talked about how the Houston Astros were going to be a much improved team this season and will be fighting for a playoff spot right until the end. Well, I guess about 4 weeks ago, it looked like it was wrapped up for them. But unfortunately for him, he's absolutely right. The Astros are fighting for a playoff spot. Just a few weeks ago, they looked like they had it wrapped up. Please welcome back to our show, Houston's own favorite son, Trey. I'm going to get this wrong. Looney, I guess. Is that right?
Is it Looney or Loney?
Looney.
Looney, okay.
Yes.
Like Looney Tunes, okay.
Yes.
Hey, Trey, how are you?
I'm doing great. How
I
are
see you decked out in that Houston Astros regalia one more time. Good to see you.
It's been a very, very exciting time here in Houston. I know that everybody's very, very excited about the Astros. It's nice to be in a playoff or a pennant race here as it is because it's been a long time coming. And
Big win last night, huh?
Last night was a long game. I thought they were never going to finish scoring.
They scored 3 touchdowns, 21 points.
I don't think the Texans are scoring 3 touchdowns this week.
No, they outscored the Texans this week for sure.
So tell me, kind of what happened.
Well, the situation is that our bullpen started to give up some runs. Our bats got a little bit cold. We had some.
We froze up here.
I think
Carlos Gomez.
Oh wait, there you go. Okay, sorry, you froze up for a second, but you're okay.
Okay, so those holes that we really needed to fill at the trading deadline, particularly in the bullpen, we really need another arm. Nishik is getting tired, and he's getting shelled every chance out there. And our starting pitching had been nails, and they started slipping a little bit as well. So it was unfortunate, but they've been playing a lot better here towards the end. Springer again is rounding into form. He's knocking the coat off the ball. Correa is just all world. I think that he's going to be a fixture for the MVP award here going forward in years to come. And our pitching is really kind of rounding back into form to where they should be. So as long as we keep those starters in there, I think we're going to be fine.
Hey, one game playoff Tuesday here at Yankee Stadium. Who's going to start that game?
At this point in time, Hinch is not showing his hand, but I would think, because he hasn't even thrown out the starter for Sunday's game here either, it may be Kuchel. It would be his first time to pitch on 3 days rest. I wouldn't be surprised to see Fears or in that spot either, just considering he's pitched very, very well on down the stretch.
Now, Kuchel, he was 2-0 against the Yankees, 16 innings pitched and no runs he gave up. So the Yankees aren't looking forward to facing him. But like you say, on a short rest, you never know what's going to happen. I guess the other thing I saw is maybe Scott Kazmir would pitch Tuesday.
And that is a possibility too. He's had a tired arm as well. He has not pitched like he did in the first part of the season, and not as I would have really have liked to seen him round into form, especially since we traded for him at the deadline. But I definitely like our chances considering we pasted the Yankees when we were up there. So.
Well, the Yankees don't want to face him. I can tell you that. I mean, that was the headline in the Post today. Let's see what it says here. Say it ain't Stroh. Is what it is. They don't want to play with Astros.
And you know what? It's to have a team that's not afraid to come into Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, that's kind of rare. That's a rare bird, man.
We got actually Trey right after you. We have a big Yankee fan, so I guess we'll find out from him whether Tanaka's going to start or not.
Oh, I think Tanaka's will pitch for sure.
And this is going to be real interesting. One game. I don't know if I'm a big fan of the one game wild card. I'd rather see this. I mean, most people have been talking about it. I'd rather see it be a 2 out of 3 at least. I can't believe that you play a 162 game season. It comes down to one game.
I would have to agree. Because baseball isn't about just a one and done type situation.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
that's the NCAA basketball tournament. I mean, the situation with all these games, and you get to see the depth of a team. You get to see, how they're going to deal with adversity. You get to see all multiple pitchers that are going to come out there and trot out there and throw their stuff, and teams have an opportunity to rebound. With one game, you're throwing it all out there. And you could have a bad day, and your season could be over, which would be really, really sad for both these teams, essentially. So,
all righty. So,
do we ask Sammy Stone what he thinks?
We know what you think. We need to find out what Sammy Stone thinks.
Why?
Sammy Stone.
Well,
That's right.
Tell me the future.
Okay, ask me.
Will the Houston Astros beat the Yankees in the wild card playoff game?
That ain't gonna happen.
Ooh, okay.
But that's good for you.
Should have asked them if they're going to make the playoffs.
Sammy's been wrong all along.
That's right. Well, you're a longtime fan of the show, so you know that. Okay.
All righty, Trey, we got to go. We're going to get the Yankee guy on. We're trying to get as many people on today as possible. Hopefully, we'll be talking to you next week.
Good luck to the Houston Astros.
Yeah, thank you guys, and thank you for having me on again. Definitely, go Astros, okay?
We're pulling for you, basically, because I love that jersey.
Yep.
And by the way, good luck to the Mets too. Y'all are having a phenomenal season. So.
Somebody asked me about what would be the best World Series, and I thought Mets and Astros would be the best World Series because the Astros have never been there.
And we go back to '86 with that classic playoff series,
Well, the Astros have been to the series. They played the White Sox a few years back and got swept out. The last of the Bagwell-Biggio era. But I agree with you. I think that it would be phenomenal to play the Mets, and I like the way you think, because
It's just good.
there. So.
I'm just glad that Mike Scott no longer pitches for the Astros. That's all I
Hey,
can
look,
say.
we might bring him out. We might have him reincarnated.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay.
All righty, Trey, thanks.
Good talking to you,
Thank
buddy.
y'all. Have a
All
good
right,
one.
take care.
All righty, so we're going to move right along here.
Okay, nice segue, right? So we're
Okay.
going now. We're talking about the Yankees, I guess,
And
right?
we got the Yankees on our next correspondent. He's been on the program before. He's a tried and true Yankee fan.
Of course.
Okay, he lives and dies with his team, just kind of like we do with the Mets. Okay, but no matter how you slice it, he's still a Yankee fan.
Okay, so we can't like him 100% then, huh?
But we still
Okay.
love him.
Okay.
Welcome back to the program, Anthony DiLorenzo. Anthony, you there?
Yes, I am, Paul. I'm
Hey,
here.
Anthony.
Hey, man, how are you? Would you prefer that we call you Tony?
Tony's fine, Anthony's fine, whatever.
Okay.
How are you, my friend? I know you've been living and dying these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's been a little tough watching this team play the last couple of weeks. Going back to the beginning of the season, I mean, I looked, as you said, I looked through rose-colored glasses, so I always believed they could win. But, you know, they had a lot of problems, but they were surprising me all season long. And, you know, until the Blue Jays went out and did what we used to do,
Yeah.
you know, bring in hired guns, we were doing well. But listen, it's wild card time now. So last year, the Kansas City Royals and the Giants were both wild card teams, and they made it to the World Series. My expectations are honestly not that high, Paul. I mean, I'm happy to be playing October baseball. We'll take it one game at a time, and we'll see. We'll see what happens after two.
Let me ask you. You know, we were talking about we were talking to the Toronto guy earlier, and they went out and got David Price, and you mentioned about how they went out and did everything the Yankees normally do. How come? What do you think it was that? How come the Yankees couldn't get done what they normally get done?
Well, I truly believe that when George was around, George would do anything, win at any cost. And as great as he was, and I thought he was a great owner, he gave us some great times, he did also get rid of a lot of young players. In hindsight, I look now and see what Brian Cashman did at the trade deadline. I was disappointed, but when I see Severino, I see this kid Bird with 11 home runs in a little over a month and a half. I see Ref Snyder hit a ball 440 feet the other night against the Red Sox. I know there's Judge down at the minor leagues, there's Mateo down at the minor leagues. I start to feel that the Yankees need to move in a younger way. I mean, Beltran's got 1 year to go.
Yeah.
Sabathia, of course, that's a chain around our neck, but what can you do? A-Rod, so there's a lot of age. Even Teixeira, I mean, was having a great year, but I think they decided to go with the youth, and I'm glad that they didn't give up. They would have had to give up Severino and or Judge and maybe even more to get David Price. And were they really going to re-sign him for 7 years, and he'd be the next CC Sabathia? So I think they're moving in a different direction.
Sounds like they're following the Mets blueprint, you know?
You know what I think?
Hanging on to your young players and developing them and riding out for a while.
I think one of the big differences is between this Yankee team and most of the last couple of Yankee teams is they didn't just need one piece.
Yeah.
They
Right.
weren't just going out where they needed one guy and they could plug one guy in. They have a couple of
Exactly.
different holes.
Now-
It's kind of like what you were saying about the Mets, where the Mets had so many holes to plug that they were able to get rid of. I mean, you have a Cy Young Award winner. You know what I mean? You trade a Cy Young Award winner. You got two tremendous pieces that are helping you right now. They've been stocking the minor leagues with pitching, and now we're finally getting to see the fruit of everything. And, I know Met fans, the reason why Met fans are patient is because we have nothing else to do.
We had no choice.
Well,
Yankee fans aren't as patient because they never had to be.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think it's true. I mean, I've been a Yankee fan since I'm 9 years old. That's going back a long time. And when you watch the game now, I still have the passion and the love for the game, but I get disgusted, as we all do, with the big money being thrown around, and these contracts are ridiculous. But when you get right down to it, youth is what this game is about. It's a young man's game. When you start getting a team with 7 or 8 of your prime players in their middle 30s, you have problems. They're going to be breaking down. And I think the Yankees, I finally decided that they could win. Now, I'm not going to say they're not going to go out next year maybe and add a piece. I mean, I could see them trading Gardner and another piece maybe to bring in a good second baseman. I could see them signing Cespedes to a 5-year deal if you guys don't want him. You know, I could see something like that, but I think the days of the Yankees going out and signing pitchers to 7- and 8-year deals worth $25 million, you're not going to see that with the Yankees anymore.
Well, listen, you know, you got teams like the St. Louis Cardinals, who had the best player in the world.
Yeah, and they traded him.
And they they just decided, you know what, we're going to trade him because we're not going to sign him for 7 years.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
they don't seem to have a problem. They won 100 games this year.
They're amazing. The Cardinals are the template that everybody should follow. I mean,
Absolutely.
They always have injuries, but they seem to bounce back no matter who they lose, who they trade. And I think that's what you're going to start seeing around baseball. You have to remember the television market now is not just in New York anymore. Everybody has a big television contract.
Yeah.
So the field has been kind of leveled, and everybody can jump in. Players don't really care where they get their $25 million a year as long as they get it.
Now, Tony, you were saying that you weren't that optimistic about Tuesday, and I guess Tanaka's going to pitch. Is that I guess
No, I
Joe
didn't say I
Girardi
wasn't
hasn't said that definitely yet, but
No, I didn't say I wasn't optimistic about Tuesday. I just said going into the season I wasn't very
Oh, okay,
optimistic.
okay.
But I do feel. I mean, when I look down the road, I mean, I'm not predicting the Yankees to go to the World Series. I mean, I'll be very happy if they do. I think Tuesday they can win. I mean, I think Tanaka will pitch a good game, and of course, all you need is 5 innings now because they got the 4 horses in the back, and that's how they're going to play it. And if they get into the next round, I'm pulling for Kansas City to get the better record than the Blue Jays because I don't want to go into a.
Hey, you
I don't have
know,
to.
we were talking. We were talking about how much the single wild card game doesn't actually seem fair. But last year, the two teams were the wild card
Absolutely.
teams. Two wild
That's
card
right.
teams in the World
Yep.
Series last year.
Yeah, I think, guys, you will see moving forward. You will see a best of 3. I think to make it fair, but they got to cut the season a little bit because we're going to be playing into November now.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
just,
ridiculous.
So we know that you think the Yankees are going to win. Let's see what Sammy Stone says.
Okay.
Sammy Stone,
That's right.
tell me the future.
Okay. Ask me.
Will the Yankees win their wild card game?
That ain't gonna happen.
Oh, boy.
Well, you see, what I don't understand is if they're not going to win. Well, you know what? If it says that ain't, he said that ain't going to happen, and he said that Houston isn't going to win the wild card game, then maybe Houston doesn't make it.
I think it's going to be the Angels. I think the Diamondbacks are going to be pissed off about what happened last
Oh,
night.
they got hammered last night for sure.
Yeah, I think they're going to come back with a vengeance. How many innings did Keuchel pitch, by the way?
I don't know, but I
But
can
they
probably
said
look it up here.
I think Trey said that they're figuring him to maybe start.
Yeah, on short rest. He'd have to pitch on short rest, and I was wondering they might have pulled him out if they had that big a lead. So it's going to be interesting. This is a very interesting day in baseball. I mean, even the Mets. I mean, the Mets have to win to get the better. The Dodgers did win, So and now with the loss of Matz, that's a little bit of a tough break.
Well, what I'm going to do here is something that I never normally do. I'm going to congratulate the Yankees on their 10,000th win.
Yeah.
10,000 wins.
That's mind-boggling.
It is. It really is. I mean, it's a great franchise. They've listen. New York baseball is better than any baseball around. I don't care what even when the Mets were not playing well, New York is still New York. It's great, and I think that both teams should be proud. The Mets should be extremely proud of what they did, coming from out of nowhere. And you know what? Good for them, and I wish them luck in the first round. They got a tough order there against 2 top guys. But you know what? You got to get a split no matter where you are. Whether it's home or away, you got to get a split.
All righty, man. We're running out of time, coming up against the break here.
Good talking to you, Tony.
Hey, thanks, man. This was great. Hopefully we'll, if the Yankees win, or I'll say if, because you're the one who's going to say, not going to say if, but I have to say if.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's in my contract.
I tell you what, you can bring me back if they win or lose. I'd be happy to talk
All
to you.
right.
Okay,
That'd be
man.
great.
We'll talk baseball.
We'll
Thanks,
talk a
Tony.
Subway Series, baby.
All right.
I don't want to see Subway Series anymore. I saw one in my lifetime. It
Yeah, we had enough of those.
All righty,
take
man.
care.
Thank you.
Tony.
That's
Bye-bye.
Anthony DiLorenzo, Yankee fan supreme.
Yeah.
Let's take another break here on the Glory Day Show. When we get back, we'll continue the baseball talk with Joe Botana and Jake Krebs. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco, only on the Radio TV Network. We're coming right back. You should.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE, your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Days Show with Bruce Disco here on the InRavio TV network. On our phone is another columnist from Around the Horn Talk, and he covers the White Sox. And
They're not in the playoffs.
And other features for the sites.
Okay.
But most of all, he's a baseball fan. Okay. But he's currently enjoying the Packers because he lives in Wisconsin.
Is he a cheesehead?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him.
Okay.
Yeah. But today he's going to join us. We're just going to talk about baseball. We'll talk a little bit about the Dodgers, talk about the Pittsburgh and Chicago series. And, who are the Dodgers playing? Oh, yeah, they're playing the Mets. Please welcome to the program, Joe Battaglia. Joe, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
All right, man. How's life treating you up there in the cold, chilly fields of Wisconsin?
The frozen tundra.
Frozen tundra.
Well, it's definitely getting cold and chilly up here. I was down in McAllen, Texas, on a consulting engagement this week, and it was 95 degrees down here, and I blew into Milwaukee last night, and it was 45, so that's way too much of a shock.
Shock to the system, for sure. I got to tell you, I was really excited. I thought Disco made a typo, and I thought we were having Joe Montana on this show today. Okay.
Actually, a story to that. When my wife and I got married 34 years ago, our pastor mispronounced our name. I'd like to give you Mr. and Mrs. Joe Montana.
There we go.
True story.
Hey, listen, if you could work that into the conversation. So, Joe, you're a baseball fan, and tell us. Let's talk a little bit about Pittsburgh, Chicago, if you can, for a second.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting series, and I think this series is going to be the poster child for why we're going to see a 3-game wild card playoff at some point in time.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing: you've got Pittsburgh. They're going to have the second best record in baseball by a mile.
Right.
So they're going to get the home field advantage, and they're going to wind up facing a pitcher who's just plain unhittable right now. I mean, I saw him pitch last night against the Brewers, and he made some fairly decent young hitters look absolutely silly. I think he's going to wind up with an absolute record for the best second half performance by a starting pitcher in baseball. 11 wins, no losses, and I think it's going to be a .41 ERA.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
I mean, he's giving up less than half a run per 9 innings. And so you're going to have Pittsburgh with this amazing season, second best record in baseball, and they're probably, unfortunately, going to get knocked out.
One and done, yeah.
One and done.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be something that folks are going to come back and say, that's probably not a really good system, and we're going to have to try to figure something out. So if you have a a situation where a team has one stud pitcher, they can't just automatically win the wild card.
Yeah, and I agree with you. You know, I don't see how a single game should decide. I mean, I understand the single game playoff when both teams have fought the whole year and they tie. You play one game and that's it. But this is a playoff series. This should not determine whether you advance or don't advance in the playoffs. I mean, I know baseball did it because of. I
Money.
guess about 2
It's always
years ago.
about revenue.
But you know, about 2 years or so ago, or was it? I don't know. Was it 3 years ago when we had all those teams that won on the last day of the season, and it generated so much interest. And of course, baseball took it to the nth degree. And I don't know. I just would like to have seen a 2 out of 3.
I tell you, Chicago, I think they overachieved this year. You know, they got the new manager. I mean, Madden, great manager, but I don't think he's up for a manager of the year. I think you got to go with Matheny. You look at all the injuries the Cardinals had, and they have 100 wins. You know,
100 wins, unbelievable. And Pittsburgh's got 97. That's insane. How did 2 teams from the same division win almost 100 games?
Yeah, well, they must have beat everybody else outside of the division. Is what that happened. You know.
And the Cubs have 94,
95.
95. I mean, and granted, the Brewers didn't put up much of a fight this year, and Cincinnati certainly didn't put much of a fight. But still, 3 teams. I think that Pittsburgh, I know would be in first place in any other division, and I think the Cubs would be probably, I think, tied or ahead in almost every other division.
No, other than right now, obviously the Mets and the Dodgers. The Dodgers just got 90 wins.
And the Mets got 89.
The Mets have 89. Toronto has 93. Kansas City has 93. Texas has only got 87 wins.
Yeah. Right. Well, we talked about it several weeks ago that basically if the Mets didn't win a division, they weren't going to make it as a wild card.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
and that was
early
true.
in the year we knew that. All right, Joe, let's switch gears. So, wait a minute. So who do you think, Pittsburgh or Chicago? You really think Chicago's going to come out?
I think Chicago's going to come out. I think that I'm kind of going with the Back to the Future prediction that this is the year that the
this
Cubs,
is it.
Do it. And I mean, with all the the years of the Billy Goat jinx, maybe this is the year it finally gets broken.
All right, so let's talk for a couple minutes before I have to let you go on the Dodgers. What are the Mets looking at here with the Dodgers?
Well, first of all, I think the Mets are going to win that series, and I'll tell you why. I think the Dodgers have 2 real horses on the top of the rotation, but it really drops off from there. So this is a 5-game series, and you're only going to get 3 starts out of the 2 types.
Yeah, Greinke and Kershaw. Yeah.
Greinke and Kershaw. Yeah. And the thing is, the Mets have a deeper rotation that I think can match up with both of those guys. So it's not Greinke and Kershaw are going to automatically win those games.
If you're talking about a 7-game series, I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
But in a 5-game series, the thing that I know about the Dodgers is they feast on pitchers, on curveballs and things like that. So the Mets have 4 fireballs if Matz pitches.
Yeah, Matz is not going to pitch. I don't.
But if Matz pitches, they've got 4 guys. Hopefully, Game 4 may not even matter.
In the post, they were talking about the Mets should be bold. The Mets should actually have DeGrom pitch twice. They say they should go with 3 pitches. They should go with Syndergaard, Harvey, and DeGrom.
Well, you know what? They just have to wait and see. Now that Game 4.
Like I say, it's still a ways away.
That Game 4 would be a 3-game rest.
Yeah, and that's a scary thing. I mean, you think back to Yogi Berra starting Tom Seaver on short rest, and that didn't end up too well either. You know?
Yeah. All right, Joe, I got to let you go. We're running out of time here. Maybe we could talk next week or the week after.
Sounds like a plan.
And I like those Packers, my friend.
Yeah, they're looking good. They're looking good. I think we've got the 49ers coming up this week, and they've been our bet noir for a couple of years here, but maybe we'll reverse that.
Okay.
All right, Joe, thanks. Thanks for taking the time. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Okay, all righty. So we're going to take another quickie break.
Okay.
And we're going to come right back, and we'll have our last correspondent of the day. We'll have Jake Krebs on as soon as we come back. Don't go. Right back. We'll be right back.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit hansoncarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE, your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Our last correspondent of the day hails from Fenton, Missouri, and is here to talk about his beloved St. Louis Cardinals, who will face the winner of the Pittsburgh-Chicago wildcard game. Welcome back, correspondent Jake Krebs.
Hey, Jake, how are you?
Doing great, guys. How are you guys doing this morning?
Good,
All
thanks.
righty, man.
We saved the best for last. The St. Louis Cardinals finished with have 100 wins. The only team with 100 wins right now. So,
yeah, just like I predicted. I think that was back in spring training.
Yeah, we lost that tape. Okay.
I was saying 94 wins.
Well, you were wrong.
And St. Louis, I mean, they had their fair share of injuries, so to win 100 games is an impressive feat, really is.
Yeah, and just speaking of injuries, I mean, they've continued on. I'm sure you guys know about the recent Yadier Molina injury, and they continue on.
Then
so
the kid in the
pretty banged
outfield,
up team.
right? The kid in the outfield.
Yeah, Stephen Piscotty, who's one of those young farm hands who's been pretty productive for us in the past couple months. With that scary collision out in left field, and it continues on. So this is going to be a pretty banged-up team entering postseason.
They seem to find a way to win, though. I mean, they are, we were talking to, I forgot which correspondent it was, about really St. Louis is really the model. I think it was Tony we were talking to, about really St. Louis. Even though the Yankees have won 10,000 games and have won more World Series, St. Louis is probably the prototype of a great franchise, you know?
Yeah. I guess it's just in the culture. It's something. It's just a feat. I think that's hard to explain. But yeah, there's always this mindset of setting up that mid-cap team without too much money, never going for the top prospect, but more or less just kind of breeding that culture at the farm level. So it seems to be working. I think it's hard to explain, and not many people can.
Well, you know what it is?
It's something working.
These guys, everybody's got minor leaguers, okay? And everybody's got what are really good minor leaguers. I just think that the Cardinals know how to mold these guys, and that when they get up to the major leagues, they're ready. They're ready for the major leagues. They do, they bring up their pitchers, and they immediately put them in the bullpen, and they let them learn how to pitch in the major leagues, and then they become starters. I mean, it's a wonderful model that they have there, because it can't be that their scouting is so much better than everybody else's. Could it be?
Exactly.
Now, were these guys that hacked into another team's database?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe it's got something to do with it too. I don't know.
They have intel. So, are you? Obviously, you're going to have to play either Pittsburgh or Chicago in your playoff series. Best 3 out of 5. Both of those teams could have been first place in any division, in
Except
either
for
the
the
American
Central.
or the National League. Exactly. And I don't know. Would you rather? Do you have a choice as to who you'd like to play, or have a favorite?
Yeah, you know what? I really do. I would prefer, at this point in time, just with the recent matchup, I'd have to go with Pittsburgh. For whatever reason, this Chicago Cubs organization, they've really had our number here in the past couple times we've met. That scares me a little bit. So if I had to pick right now, I would take the Buccos.
Wow. Because you know what? I think that Chicago is going to be one of those teams that nobody wants to play, just because of that. They have that whole aura thing going.
Yeah.
Do you know they started a GoFundMe account to bring Steve Bartman back?
Oh, no.
To be at the wild card game?
Oh, that's wild.
That is wild stuff.
So, you know what?
Yeah,
Let's real fast. Let's see what Sammy Stone says.
All right.
Sammy Stone,
That's right.
tell me the future.
Okay, ask me.
Will the Cardinals win the National League Division Series?
That ain't gonna happen.
He has not said yes to anything.
I know.
But you know what? We didn't ask him about the Mets.
Check his urine.
Right.
Sammy Stone,
That's right.
tell me the future.
Okay, ask me.
Will the Mets beat the Dodgers?
That ain't gonna happen.
I think he's stuck.
He's a broken record, is what
So,
he is, man.
according to Sammy Stone, nobody's going to win any series. All righty, Jake, we are running out of time here. I'm sorry we got to you so late, but we will, if you have time next week, we'd love to talk to you again next week.
Yeah, next Saturday I'm free, guys, so if you've got a moment to have me on, I'd love it.
We'll have more than a moment for next week.
Go Cardinals.
Thanks,
Okay.
guys. You have a good one.
Thanks
All right,
a lot.
man, thanks a lot, Jake. That is Jake Krebs coming on for, and I apologize for an abbreviated stint with us. We're just out of time.
You going to ask what we learned today? We can't
No.
have 5 guests on the show. Is what
We can't have
do.
5 guests on the show. And I also learned that we're getting rid of Sammy Stone. That he can't make every prediction he makes is no.
I've never been a fan of Sammy Stone's, and you know that.
All righty. Thanks to our producers, Kyle Melnick and Eric Mikhaila, for all their hard work making us look so good out there. And thanks to all the guests out there today, and there were a bunch of them. Ryan Colpitz from Ontario, Anthony DiLorenzo, Ronkonkoma, Trey Looney from Houston, Joe Batania, Wisconsin, and Jay Krebs from St. Louis. All baseball fans extraordinaire.
It's a good week to be a baseball fan.
Thanks again, Chuck and Bonnie, for putting up with this nonsense week after week. And, of course, thanks to you, our loyal viewers. Tonight, finish watching the regular season with the baseball. Finishes this weekend. Mets, Dodgers, Friday night. Somewhere. It might be Los Angeles. It might be New York.
Let's hope it's New York.
You know, let's go Mets. And if it's New York on Friday, we will be there.
Beautiful. Okay.
See you guys next week. Enjoy the baseball.